It's a jokey term that Venezuelan journalists used to refer to military officials who take bribes. It's a vague reference to no actual group or structure, like Antifa or the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. It's not that far from Trump declaring war on a case of the Mondays. Let's get into it. What a week. This was the week that Donald Trump finally became a lame duck president. Let me just say that a different way. Trump finally became a differently abled duck. Because woke is back. Can't stop it. It's fine. Here's Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie on Monday with a message for his fellow Republicans.
I would remind my Republican colleagues who are deciding how to vote, Donald Trump can protect you in red districts right now by giving you an endorsement, but in 2030, he's not going to be the president, and you will have voted to protect pedophiles if you don't vote to release these files. The record of this vote will last longer than Donald Trump's presidency.
But Republicans don't think in years. They live in the moment. One Nazi group chat scandal at a time. It's called being present. They're alive. Terrible, but alive. Republican members of Congress are 100% kids that ate the marshmallow. You know what I'm saying? Asking Republican politicians to think 5 years ahead is like trying to convince your dog to drop the raw Thanksgiving turkey it dragged off the countertop because it will give him a tummy ache later. This is not loud noises and fear is the way you're going to get that turkey back. Trump tried his best to keep Republicans in line. He brought Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert in for a meeting in the White House Situation Room, but couldn't bully her into removing her name from the Epstein petition. The Congresswoman said her hands were tied. No, wait, I'm sorry. It says here her hands were tired. Trump even lost Marjorie Taylor Greene. First Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban break up, and now this. All of our hottest blondes are in crisis. Wrote Trump over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, all I see is wacky Marjorie complain, complain, complain. Added Trump. And that's my thing. Continued the actual president. She has told many people she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore. But with 219 congressmen and women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet members, almost 200 countries, and an otherwise normal life to live, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. Yes, Trump's otherwise normal life of accepting Qatari jets and screaming about the Epstein files while drinking enough Diet Coke to melt a horse skeleton. Trump also threatened to support a primary challenge, writing, I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district of Georgia, that they too are fed up with her and her antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. And so Trump raises the question we never thought to ask. Is there a worse person in Georgia? Greene said that Trump's online attacks had set off a wave of threats against her, saying, I am now being contacted by private security firms with warnings for my safety as a hotbed of threats against me are being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man in the world, the man I supported and helped get elected. Babe, you don't have to apologize to us. We've all been there. You meet a charming guy, all right? He wines and dines you. You have the exact same taste in art, which is no art. Continued Greene, as a Republican who overwhelmingly votes for President Trump's bills and agenda, his aggression against me, which also fuels the venomous nature of his radical internet trolls, many of whom are paid, is completely shocking to everyone. Trump turning on his allies. Shocking, said Mike Pence, reenacting January 6th with Karen and a length of rope in a twisted game that has reignited the fire in their marriage after 40 years. By Sunday, Greene had said she received a pipe bomb threat to her construction company's offices, as well as fake pizza deliveries to her home. It's not delivery, it's the Proud Boys. With Greene and Trump on the rocks, Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin suggested that Democrats' tent had room for one more.
We are a big tent. We must be a huge, vast tent. I say this is a party that's got room for Marjorie Taylor Greene if she wants to come over.
We must build a tent so large it is an affront to God. Our tent will be so big it contains all possible tents, including itself. And Trump's loss of clout hasn't been limited to members of Congress. On Tuesday, Indiana Senate Republicans voted to adjourn until January rather than bow to Trump's pressure to draw new congressional maps. That's right, we can't rig the midterms. We're on break. Less maps, more naps. Happy Thanksgiving, Indiana Republicans. Back in Congress, with dozens of House Republicans set to defy him by voting to force the Justice Department to release the Epstein files, Trump abruptly reversed course on Sunday night, which is tricky for him with his weird center of gravity. With Trump's tacit approval of the bill, there was a near unanimous vote in the House on Tuesday to pass the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The only holdout was a mysterious first-term representative by the name of Epri Jeffstein. And on Wednesday, Attorney General Pam Bondi said that the Justice Department would follow the law and release its Epstein-related files within 30 days. Okay. So two Jews are sitting by the beach in Miami. What brings you to Florida? Asks one. Oh, my business burned down and we decided to take the insurance money and retire. What about you? Our family business was destroyed by a flood, and so we took the insurance money and decided to retire. Huh, said the first old Jew. How do you start a flood? Trump is going to burn the FBI to the ground. Point is, Trump is a lame duck. But the more it looks like his power over Republicans is slipping, the more we'll have to worry about how he deals with feeling cornered and weak. It was true after he lost in 2020, and it is true today. Trump is now threatening war with Venezuela after 21 lawless military strikes on boats that have murdered at least 83 people. Trump enacted Operation Southern Spear, the largest accumulation of U.S. forces in the Caribbean since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Trump announced that he was deploying 2 battle carriers, 3 U.S. nuclear submarines, and a whopping 22,000 pages of Epstein files directly into the Caribbean Sea. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. would designate Cartel de los Soles in Venezuela as a foreign terrorist organization, making it a crime for anyone in the U.S. to provide support to the group. There is a problem. Cartel de los Soles isn't an actual organization that exists. It's a jokey term that Venezuelan journalists used to refer to military officials who take bribes. It's a vague reference to no actual group or structure, like Antifa or the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. It's not that far from Trump declaring war on a case of the Mondays. Love It or Leave It is brought to you by AG1. It's the holiday season. And you know what that means. Your routines are all f***ed up. It's because you're waking up to make turkeys, trim trees and turkeys. Isn't it interesting? You trim them both.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Well, AG1 will let you stay one scoop ahead so that you're getting all your healthy
Turkey
things. Yep. It's busy. You got to wrap gifts, got to buy people candles and hats. You're going to be in a crowded airport, so you better take AG1 so you get antioxidants and probiotics and functional mushrooms. Not my favorite kind, but part of a healthy diet, I suppose. It's dark out, so you get your superfoods. You're going to have a lot of holiday meals. You can eat like shit. So get your micronutrients from AG1's full spectrum of them. And also, this is a lot of stress in the holidays. And these are all things that'll help. It's nice to start your routine with something healthy. If you have AG1, you can, make your day starts well, right? You're going to eat a bunch of dog shit over the course of your day, cookies, loose pumpkin spice.
Sure. Yeah. Candy all over the place.
Drink AG1.com/loveit to get a free welcome kit with an AG1 flavor sampler and a bottle of vitamin D3 plus K2 when you first subscribe. That's drinkag1.com/loveit. Make your routine include AG1 in the morning. So you get, I like making a smoothie in the morning, and you have your greens powder like AG1. You have some protein, put some fruit in there, some non-dairy milk. Boom. AG1. Love It or Leave It is brought to you by IndaCloud. You run on cold brew till 5 p.m., then your soul files for bankruptcy. IndaCloud is the only bailout plan that works. IndaCloud is your online dispensary for actual good times. Gummies, flour, pre-rolls, and more. All federally legal, THC, DEA certified, lab tested, and shipped discreetly. Basically, everything you want without the sketchy handshake or mystery baggie. Sleep gummies? Check. Social buzz without becoming a meme? Check. High dose options for when you do decide to text your ex. And $70 ounces? That's cheaper than brunch in LA. Look, I like every once in a while, at the end of the day, you got to change your mentality. Take yourself to a different place, you know? I got to get this, sometimes I'm home at night, I'm stressed out. I got the sales team floating in my head. I got to get rid of those people. I got to get them out of my head. I'm sick of seeing them in my head. And so I take a little gummy, change your whole mentality. De-stress helps you go to sleep. They have grape soda with indica for calm and relaxation. They have orange soda, sativa for an elevated energy boost. They have strawberry soda hybrid for a mellow, uplifting vibe. Now, this is how you upgrade your vibe without the hangover or the wallet regret. If you're 21 or older, go to indacloud.co and use code LOVEIT for 40% off your first order plus free shipping. This is IndaCloud's biggest sale of the year, and it runs all month long, not one of those blink and you'll miss it flash deals. That's indacloud.co, code LOVEIT for 40% off free shipping and a little extra breathing room for our listeners. As always, please enjoy responsibly, and thanks to IndaCloud for sponsoring today's episode. That's INDACLOUD.co. Use code LOVEIT, 40% off. And he's not just agitating for war, he's seeking refuge in his corrupt dealings with foreign autocrats. Here's Trump at the White House with Saudi Crown Prince and guy who likes to show people his Aston Martin Valkyrie but can't let anyone see what it actually looks like for him to get in or out of one, Mohammed bin Salman, on Tuesday.
We've been really good friends for a long period of time. We've always been on the same side of every issue.
It's super awkward because MBS is clearly Trump's best friend, but Trump is not MBS's best friend. When bin Salman was asked about the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, which the CIA concluded he ordered, Trump attacked the reporter for bringing it up.
You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
First of all, things happen. One moment, you're alluring a journalist to the Saudi consulate in Istanbul to obtain paperwork he needs to get legally married, and the next, a team of 15 Saudi operatives, including people with close ties to the Crown Prince, are debating whether it's more suspicious to leave with 10 small duffel bags or 3 big ones. Because things happen. Also, embarrass our guest. Embarrass our guest. Bitch, he's not our guest. He's your guest. And he's not your guest. He's our country's guest, which makes him our guest. So it's your house when it's time to build the ballrooms and do the corrupt real estate deals, but then the cameras are rolling and it's back to being our house again. And you're right. A question about Mohammed bin Salman's complicity in the killing of Jamal Khashoggi does cast a pall over your dinner party. But it was always going to be tense when you brought the journalist in for the meeting with the infamous journalist murderer. The problem isn't that it's embarrassing to bring it up. The problem is that you aren't embarrassed all the other times. And as Trump's political nakedness comes into view, Democrats are making sure the room is as cold as possible. Ro Khanna helped divide Republicans over Epstein. We won the debate over healthcare and the shutdown. And as Trump threatens to deploy the military to more American cities, 6 Democratic lawmakers made a video reminding members of America's armed forces that they do not have to obey illegal orders from the Trump administration. It's the kind of video you wish you didn't have to make, like a hostage video or an apology for having your wedding at a plantation.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
Much like Alphaba refused to go along with the illegal orders of the wizard, added Jeff Goldblum, the wicked promo campaign is out of fucking control. How'd you get into this thing? The video ends with the phrase, "Don't give up the ship," a reference to the last words of Captain James Lawrence of the USS Chesapeake, as shared by his dear friend, Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry, who kindly omitted his actual last words, "Owie, owie, owie." It's, of course, a statement of fact. Service members must follow lawful orders and refuse unlawful ones. Surely Trump knows and appreciates this, and he's not going to say we should kill anybody over it. Oh, I'm sorry. Trump on Thursday went on quite a murderous posting spree, describing the video as seditious behavior punishable by death. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial, Trump said. "You got it, sir," said Trump's favorite prosecutor, Lindsay Halligan, cracking her knuckles and typing trial into WikiHow. Trump also reposted a message encouraging Trump to hang them as George Washington would. George Washington was involved with the hanging of one of his bodyguards, Thomas Hickey, for mutiny and sedition. And I just want to read Washington's warning about his death. He said, "In order to avoid these crimes, the most certain method is to keep out the temptation of them, particularly to avoid lewd women, who by the dying confession of this poor criminal first led him into the practices which ended in his untimely and ignominious death." Good advice then, good advice now. The senators and members of Congress posted a joint statement in response to Trump's threats, writing, "What's most telling is that the president considers it punishable by death for us to restate the law. Our service members should know that we have their backs as they fulfill their oath to the Constitution and obligation to follow only lawful orders. Your move, Mr. President, that AI video you're dreaming up where a shirtless version of you with rippling abs kicks senators into a giant pit filled with trans immigrants while yelling, 'This is Sparta,' isn't going to generate itself." Trump's a joke. He's also a threat, and both will become more true in the months ahead. Look at what he said at the bipartisan McDonald's Impact Summit.
Because no matter who you are, everyone loves something at McDonald's. There's always something to have. I like the fish. I like it. You could do a little bit more tartar sauce, though, please. Seriously. I hate when I said, "Do you have any tartar sauce?" Do you understand that? Yes, he understands that.
First, you can't choose how you learn you weren't invited to the McDonald's Impact Summit, but every way hurts the same. Also, you may love the filet of fish, the fish delight as Trump calls it, or you may hate it. But I can't imagine the flavor engineers at McDonald's figuring out a way to get more tartar sauce onto that cursed fucking sandwich. That is insane. It's like a baseball-sized scoop of tartar sauce. If you eat one behind the wheel of your car, you have to get a new car. And this sick freak asked for extra, this bottomless well of need. And I just want to say to McDonald's, you do not have to follow this order. It is not his McDonald's. It is ours. Don't give up the ship. All right, we'll leave it there.